There's a way music fills your soul, leads your spirits, makes you feel good. And so this is something that hits you. You don't feel any pain about it. It's music. Welcome. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the program. It's Morning Splash. This is an extra one, and every Friday when we hit the microphone, we're right here to review the week. I'm Oluwaseun. Akinola. I'm happy to be here, and she's also with me here. Good morning.
I am. Good morning. Sure, and you're right about music, especially on a Friday, like when you know that your workload is not,
not everybody, actually. Some people.
Yeah, well, but for you.
Let me not talk to you. You want me to talk, Abby?
Uneasy lies the head. We all know that. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown, but it's okay.
It's all right. It's good.
Welcome. We're glad you could join us again this Friday for a recap of what the news has been like this week. My name is Charity Jerome.
All right. So we will get through some of these headlines and have you be part of this one. It's time also for you to be able to talk to us about how you feel concerning some of these stories. So join us. Let's do this together. It's always great to be here. First PRO Lumuwa Adejobi says the officers that were firing, arms, misuse of arms, abuse of power, gross indiscipline, and wastage of life ammunition. Said that Nigerian police force dismissed these officers, 3 of them, for what they called misconduct. And that leads me to very bad video I saw during the week where a police officer was assaulting a Nigerian, and the young man was wearing white apparel and he was flogging him, slapping him, hitting him, and I kept wondering why this is happening. I mean, that's brutality in any way you want to call it. So let's start from that point.
I saw the video as well, and quite frankly, when we talked about it, I think it was on the Splash Super Drive, I was very skeptical because then they said they were going to fish them out. They were going to.
They did eventually.
Eventually, they did, and I was impressed. That those people were found out. They said they've been arrested, investigation, blah, blah, blah. But I'm glad that it's happening. However, we know that police brutality is an institutional problem as far as the police is concerned. It is not a one-off thing. You see it happen too often to be a one-off. It's a problem, right?
It seems that it is entrenched.
Yes, it is not everybody that indulges. But the people who seem to indulge, it would seem more than, because we're always seeing these sort of stories. But from the reaction of the police in the recent incidents that we've seen of brutality or some sort of misconduct, the police has risen up to it. I don't know whether it's because of social media, whether it's because of how far these videos go and the outrage that follows, but we've seen action on the part of police, and I think it is commendable.
Yeah.
But beyond commending that they are catching the ones that are doing this, I think we should go further to maybe try to speak to the mindset of police. And when I say we, I don't mean you and I mean the police management, because it's their responsibility. We need a change in mindset for officers in the police. Like, we say it all the time, and maybe it sounds like it's never going to happen or it's far-fetched, but it is possible for people to see the police and feel happy, for people to want to feel comfortable around police officers. And that would take, I know, a lot, but it would start from the kind of training and the mindset, right? Let's begin to do that such that police officers don't think that they and the citizens are enemies.
Or that they are law to themselves.
I feel like we can get there. It starts little by little, but yes, we can do it. And that should be the focus. Now, apart from catching these ones and punishing them or dismissing them, how about the lots? What are we doing to ensure a reorientation of the thought process of a police officer? The police is your friend. That's a cliche that we hear all the time. But how true is that cliche?
I think it's also just the place. I think it's just something that our country will need to be intentional about. Also, how we approach these officers when we speak with them. I'm not blaming the victim, so let me just be clear. We also should approach the police officer in a way that they won't have to do that to us. Sometimes, I'll say this. I've never had the experience, and I don't pray to have such an experience in my life. I have a police officer who is angry, or a police officer who probably has had problem with himself, meeting you on the road and pouring aggression on you for whatever.
The aggression.
I mean, that's something that could have happened. But I know that my own personal experience is every time a police officer is at a checkpoint somewhere, and I'm driving and approaching them, when I see that they are stopping vehicles, I stop even like 10 meters, 20 meters before I get to the police officer, and I slow down and I move towards them cautiously. And when I get there, I lower the window and I say good morning or good afternoon. I greet and I wait for him to say whatever he wants to say. More often than not, they ask me to move. I can't recall when they will ask me to pack, and then they want to start asking. So we also, I'm saying that, yes, police officers need reorientation. They need to also know how to deal with civilians. We also should know how to speak with them, because sometimes we approach them with aggression sometimes. I know people say, why is he stopping me? I'm in a hurry. No, he can stop you. That is why he's there. So once he stops you, stop. And then, somebody was telling me when he was stopped by a police officer around Challenge, and he told the police officer that, look, my papers are due. I know I'm still working on how to get them, but I have my driver's license. He asked and he checked, and he said, okay, so please go do your papers, so that next time when I stop you, you won't be telling me that it's due.
Trust me, that's a reasonable police officer.
Exactly.
Not a lot of people
one
are
of
that
them are like that. There are one or two of them like that. So we,
Sheil, I think you're lucky, maybe because you look like a responsible citizen. So when they see
that guy
you,
looked responsible as well.
No, it's when they see you, they're like, this one. But there are certain people that they profile, and it happens a lot to young men, so you're seen driving a certain type of car, and then just because of the way you look,
that's
extra
my shock
attention on you.
Oh, my shock is that this particular guy that we had this week, the guy looked responsible. He was wearing a white cloth and he wasn't even having things that make you profile them.
Yes.
They profile people with dread. I don't know whether dread is evil. Why do you think that anybody that wears dread is
they
important?
thought he looked too young to be driving the car, even if he was dressed.
That's on them.
Exactly.
It's on you.
So that's the thing. I was trying to bring out that you can be courteous and you can be decent,
and they'll still be aggressive.
and they will still be aggressive.
Okay, I think we have to go somewhere else. I hope that we're able to deal with this one as a country. The Labour Party says something recently that its presidential candidate in 2023 elections, Peter Obi, is being impersonated by someone in London. The Obi Media Office released a statement Wednesday describing how Obi was accosted and detained at London's Heathrow Airport for an alleged duplication offence. Obi Media Office can confirm that the LP presidential candidate in the February 25 presidential poll had arrived at the Heathrow Airport in London from Nigeria and joined the queue for necessary airport protocols when he was accosted by an immigration official who handed him a detention note and told him to step aside. It took the intervention of other passengers at the airport who recognized the politician for the UK airport authorities to allow him to go. The party said the incident implies that the impersonator could be committing all kinds of weighty crimes and other dubious acts, and it will be recorded in Obi's name. The LP believes the attack on his candidate was meant to tarnish his image. It also noted that he has come under severe attacks after the presidential election. That story seems really very incredible to me. This is the era of biometrics. It's the era of fingerprints. In UAE, they even check your iris. You go in, the scanner scans you, and you're allowed to go because it recognizes who this personality is. But how could someone be impersonating a figure like Obi? And then I saw a picture where, people are doing all kinds on Twitter and on social media. A picture of Abike Dabiri and Obi sitting together and the police officer in front of them. That's more like a manipulated image.
And that gets that.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see that particular picture.
I'll show you now.
Saying, yeah, but it just goes to prove the point that it is possible, depending on how desperate. And I'm not saying this because it is Obi at the center of it. Technology has improved so much these days that people who are bent on being mischievous and they know they have the means, they can be. We know of cases of identity thefts. These things happen where someone steals a person's identity, is able to access their bank account, is able to live their life as if it were them, just because they've been able to steal their identity. So is it possible? I believe it is possible. However, not however, and to buttress that, if there was certainty that it was Obi, they would not let him go, even if the entire airport
will beg.
Yes.
Or say
if it was certain that it is him, they will keep him. I mean, that's a place.